Japan is bracing for the worst post-war slump. Before the pandemic, Japan's economy was standing at the edge of a cliff. Now it's in recession. The world's third largest economy is struggling. Japan's globe-trotting boardroom samurais are staring at losses like never before. Now, with the snapping of its safety rope with the global trade network, Japan is sinking faster than expected.
Japan is officially in recession. Blame the pandemic. But there's more. The Japanese economy has been stagnant for decades. The pandemic only exposed the fault lines in its economy. Sample this. Japan, which is considered a technological and manufacturing giant, could not make enough ventilators on time. Why? Ventilator makers desperately needed technicians. Japan's aging population and declining labor force meant there were not enough young technicians. The older workers stayed home because they were at greater risk. Then there was the problem of components. Japan depends on China, its largest trading partner. With the factories shut in China, Japan was left to its own devices. Ventilators are just an example. This is the story across industries in Japan. The pandemic has disrupted global supply chains. Japan relies on them to export its products. Japan is the world's third largest economy, and its economic output, measured by GDP, fell 3.4% in the January to March period. This slump came on an even steeper fall of 7.3% in the October to December period. That's 2 quarters of consecutive decline in GDP, the textbook definition of a recession. The last time the Eastern superpower faced a recession was in 2015. Economists compare this fall to the Second World War. Japan had found itself on the wrong side of the war, but it rapidly rebuilt itself. The recovery was miraculous. Is a repeat possible now? Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has already announced a stimulus package worth $1 trillion. That's 20% of Japan's $5 trillion economy. The money is at hand, but not the means to put it to good use. Japan relies on tourism. Over 30 million people visited Japan last year, accounting for close to 8% of the GDP. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was counting on the Olympics to bring in a historic 40 million visitors, with pockets full of money. That's not happening anymore. What about manufacturing, Japan's prowess? 1 out of 5 companies in Japan has run out of cash. Borrowing rates has slipped below zero. These firms hoard cash. By the end of December, Japanese companies held a record $2.47 trillion in cash. Now they've burnt all of it in trying to stay afloat. Exports have fallen. The second quarter may see the economy slipping by 22%. Some of the world's leading car makers are Japanese, the likes of Toyota and Mitsubishi. The profits are expected to drop by 80%. Japan will be officially out of lockdown next week. The founder of Japanese giant SoftBank says, "The reason for failure lies not externally, but within yourself." That sums up Japan's economic problem. Bureau Report, WION. World is one.